Hello everyone, and welcome to Canadian Express. I'm your host, and today we're diving headfirst into the political earthquake that just rocked Canada. So grab your double-double, settle in, and get ready for a story that's unfolding right before our eyes. And while you're at it, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button, because you won't want to miss a single update on this wild ride. Canada just blew the political roof off the Tim Hortons, in a move that has shocked the Laurentian elites, rattled Bay Street bankers, and sent Mark Carney sobbing into his imported silk handkerchief. The 2025 election has not only exploded into recount chaos, it has become the defining political drama of our generation. And at the centre of it all, not the suit-wearing spreadsheet whisperer Carney. No, it's a woman with real power, real integrity, and a backbone forged from northern steel. Governor General Mary freaking Simon. And standing beside her, calm, collected, and probably holding a copy of Rebel News in one hand and an economic textbook in the other, is the man of the hour, Pierre Poilievre, the People's Prime Minister, whether Ottawa likes it or not. Now, let's set the stage. Canadians from coast to coast were expecting a coronation for Pierre. He had the momentum, the crowds, the data, the raw grassroots energy that made Justin's selfies look like ancient relics from 2015. Pierre was leading rallies that looked more like Maple Leaf home games. Alberta, lockdown. Saskatchewan, solid blue. Ontario, cracks were showing in Liberal red. Even Quebec, sacre bleu, was looking at him like, aye, this guy's got it. Then bam. On election night, just when everyone was refreshing their phones waiting for the obvious Conservative majority, the CBC flashes the headline, Liberal victory, Carney claims minority government. Huh? Canadians across the nation spit out their poutine in confusion. What happened? Did the ballots fall into a time warp? Did someone count backwards? Did Trudeau sneak in wearing a fake moustache and cast 12 million votes from the Aga Khan's island? It made no sense. Mark Carney, the unelectable former Bank of England technocrat, suddenly won key ridings across the country by margins so thin you'd need a microscope and divine intervention to see them. Newfoundland, 1 vote. Halton Hills, spontaneous increase in advance voting bigger than a Leafs fan's optimism in October. Vancouver South, more ballots than voters. That's not democracy. That's a bingo night gone rogue. And don't even get me started on Quebec, where someone apparently got confused between postal codes and just tossed ballots into whichever riding they felt like. Oh, you live in Saguenay? Close enough to Sherbrooke? Tabernac? This wasn't an election. It was an administrative Cirque du Soleil, with Carney flipping in midair, hoping the media would clap and call it unity. But here's where the story turns from comedy to constitutional thriller, because guess who stood up, took off the gloves, and called for order in this madhouse? Not the CBC, not the Toronto Star's anonymous Liberal source. No, it was our rock-solid, no-nonsense Governor General, Mary Simon. This isn't your average ceremonial ribbon cutter. Mary Simon, Canada's first Indigenous Governor General, decided she wasn't going to sit back and let political elitists use her office as a rubber stamp for chaos. No way. She looked at the legal challenges, the recount requests, the 11 ridings with sketchy results, and she said, "Whoa there, sweet cheeks. We're not crowning anyone yet." Carney's smug little grin evaporated faster than job opportunities under a Liberal budget. He was ready to waltz into Rideau Hall, shake a few hands, and get the keys to the country handed to him on a golden serving tray. But Mary Simon, bless her Arctic resolve, stood there like the last line of defence between democracy and disaster. Reports say Carney came in expecting a photo op and left looking like he just failed a job interview. Pale, stunned, probably muttering about macro-prudential frameworks while Simon laid down the law in both English and Inuktitut. Imagine it. Carney, the golden boy of Davos, getting verbally dunked on by a woman who actually understands what it means to represent Canadians, real Canadians. Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre, our glasses-wearing economic assassin, didn't waste time throwing tantrums or crying election interference. No, sir. He did what leaders do. He hit the road, started shaking hands, meeting voters, holding open forums, and most importantly, demanding accountability. Let the courts do their job, he said. Let every vote be counted properly. That's the kind of leadership we need, not some ivory tower technocrat fiddling with GDP charts while Alberta's oil workers get laid off and groceries cost more than a mortgage payment. And folks, here's where it gets delicious. The recounts started coming in, eh? And oh boy, were they brutal for the Liberals. Windsor-Tecumseh flipped. 4 votes. That's it. 4 little tick marks and poof, Carney's mandate took another hit. Halton Hills, still under investigation. Vancouver South, chaos central. Ballots missing IDs, counts not matching registered voters, envelopes sealed with hope and duct tape. At this point, Elections Canada was sweating bullets harder than a snowplow driver in July. Their official statement, minor discrepancies. Yeah, and the Titanic had minor flooding. But here's what makes it even worse for Carney. This isn't just a recount issue. It's an existential crisis for the Liberal Party. The campaign insiders are panicking. Leaked emails show MPs begging for crisis management support. Strategy staff are pointing fingers. Who let Carney speak in German at that Ontario rally? One asked. Why did we run a guy who hasn't lived in Canada for most of the last decade? Screamed another. Because let's be real, Mark Carney is not one of us. He's not the guy you run into at Canadian Tire buying a snow shovel. He's the guy who outsources his snow shoveling to a global firm headquartered in Luxembourg. He's not your neighbour. He's not even your neighbour's accountant. He's the accountant of your neighbour's offshore hedge fund. And he doesn't care if you can't afford eggs as long as his net zero talking points trend on LinkedIn. But while Carney was busy evaluating the democratic resilience of the nation, Pierre Poilievre was doing something revolutionary, talking to people, listening, showing receipts. When the mainstream media tried to corner him with snarky questions, he hit them back with facts. You want to talk democracy? Let's talk about advanced ballots with no tracking system. You want to talk leadership? I'm here. Where's Carney? Probably in a Brussels conference room. And Mary Simon? Oh, she wasn't done yet. The ultimate Canadian plot twist came when, after reviewing the sheer avalanche of inconsistencies, Governor-General Simon made a move that will be studied in political science classes for decades. She issued a formal statement, not some vague bureaucratic nonsense. No, a clear, concise, spine of steel declaration. Until recounts are concluded and legal challenges resolved, the current government shall remain provisional and no formal power transition will be undertaken. Translation. Carney, sit your banker butt down. You don't get to run the country until we know for a fact the ballots weren't delivered by carrier pigeon and counted with an etch-a sketch. The Liberals were stunned. The NDP started tweeting awkwardly about electoral integrity. The Bloc just stared into the distance, dreaming of another referendum. But the real story? The people of Canada got fired up. Comment sections exploded. Talk radio sizzled. Finally, someone's standing up for us, they said. About time these elites got put in their place. Now let's talk future, because here's what's coming. Either the recounts restore Pierre's rightful victory, or we're heading straight into a constitutional redo. And if that happens, oh buddy, you better believe Poilievre is going to sweep it like a curling champion with a Red Bull sponsorship. The man is energised, focused, and laser-targeted on restoring economic sanity to this frozen tundra we call home. Canadians are tired of being told they're racist for wanting pipelines. Tired of being told inflation is their fault for eating toast. Tired of being ignored unless they live within 3 Starbucks of the CBC headquarters. And in Poilievre, They see someone who doesn't flinch, doesn't pander, and doesn't take crap from bankers who fly private jets to climate summits. This isn't just a recount, it's a reckoning. And the best part, it's unfolding in real time. Mary Simon, the Governor-General we didn't know we needed, is holding the fort. Pierre Poilievre, the leader we've been waiting for, is rallying the nation. And Mark Carney, he's off somewhere holding a press conference attended by 3 journalists and a confused pigeon, insisting this is all just a teachable moment in democratic elasticity. So to all you Canucks watching this, just remember, this isn't over. The West is awake, the East is paying attention, and the middle, the forgotten middle, is about to roar louder than ever before. Canada, you're not broken, you've just been mismanaged, and the adults are finally stepping in. Get ready. The red wave is receding, the blue tide is rising, and somewhere deep in the bowels of a Bay Street boardroom, Mark Carney just spilled his almond milk latte. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly, subscribe to Canadian Express for all the latest updates on this unfolding Canadian drama. Thanks for watching.